Is the Galaxy G Fold the next big thing in foldable smartphones? Well, we've got some exciting new details about this device, and after analyzing it, I can say the G Fold makes way more sense than the Z Fold. Let me explain. What's up, guys? S here. The whole reason foldable phones have gained so much traction is largely thanks to Samsung. Sure, other brands like Oppo, Google, and OnePlus eventually joined in, but Samsung, and to some extent Huawei, were the pioneers that pushed foldables into the mainstream. And now, Samsung is taking things even further with a trifold Galaxy device, likely called the Galaxy G Fold. Now, trifolding phones aren't new. Huawei already has one, and it's a great example of what's possible. You get a 6.4-inch phone that expands into a massive 10-inch tablet, delivering a genuine phone and tablet experience in a single device. Don't get me wrong, I like the Z Fold series, the OnePlus Open, and the Pixel Fold. But the reality is, these devices still feel like a compromise. They exist in an awkward space where they're not quite a proper phone and not quite a true tablet either. A trifold changes that dynamic completely. A regular phone that expands into a 10-inch display means you're not making sacrifices. You get a normal smartphone experience when folded, and a full-fledged tablet when needed. No strange aspect ratios, no half-baked in-between sizes. Just the best of both worlds. Now, with that said, there's one major flaw in Huawei's trifold that Samsung is fixing with the Galaxy G Fold. I'll get back to that in a second, but first let's talk display sizes. Rawson reports that the Galaxy G Fold will have a 6.5-inch outer screen that unfolds into a 10-inch tablet, similar to Huawei's offering. But that's where the similarities end. Unlike the Huawei Mate XD, which uses a Z-type folding design, the Galaxy G Fold uses a G-type fold. And this is a big deal. Why? Because having a soft plastic screen constantly exposed to surfaces and pockets is a recipe for disaster. We saw this with the original Mate X years ago. It got scratched up way too easily. That's why outward folding phones pretty much disappeared. But Samsung is solving that issue with the G Fold by keeping the flexible display safely tucked inside when folded. Of course, this means it needs an additional external display, similar to the Z Fold lineup. Now, let's talk potential issues. First, weight and thickness. A trifold needs 2 hinges, and with a larger screen, this thing is going to be heavier and bulkier. For reference, Huawei's trifold weighs 298 grams and is 12 millimeters thick, which, surprisingly, is even thinner than the Z Fold 6. Samsung is already making the Z Fold 7 significantly thinner, so if they can keep the G Fold close to the Z Fold 6 in thickness, that would be a win. Second, battery life. A bigger screen means more power consumption. While Huawei tackled this with silicon-carbon battery tech, cramming in a massive 5,600 mAh battery, if Samsung doesn't adopt similar battery tech, they'll struggle to match Huawei's battery life, and that's a problem. Visuals of price tags and dollar signs. Voiceover. Third, pricing. This thing is going to be expensive, easily over $2,000, possibly even $2,500. That's a lot of money. But considering Huawei's Mate XD costs nearly $3,000 and has sold over 3 million units, there's clearly a market for it. That said, Samsung has to price this sensibly. Otherwise, it could end up like the Apple Vision Pro, a great product with an absurd price tag. Oh, and if you're worried about the crease, since this design has 2 instead of 1, users of Huawei's trifold have said it's barely noticeable, just like regular foldables. Once you start using the phone, you forget it's even there. As for the launch, Korean media suggests Samsung will showcase the G Fold plus alongside the Z Fold 7 in July. If I had to guess, they'll likely tease it at the end of the event, just like they did with the S25 Edge. Maybe even show it to select people, but the full reveal might come later in the year. Either way, I'm hyped for the G Fold. If Samsung gets the weight, thickness, and pricing right, this could be the next big evolution in foldables. Here's the first look at the Z Fold 7. Click right here, and I'll see you there.